would have been hung on a stand, as you see here, and played with a wooden mallet. This wine vessel with a chained handle is a fine example of bronze vessel with a gold and silver inlay made in the 3rd century BC. While nobles furnishing their tombs with precious bronze vessels, commoners instead use ceramic vessels to imitate the shape and the decoration of the bronzes. Excavated from a royal cemetery, these 2 pieces belonged to Lady Rui Jiang, the wife of a king of Rui, a small state on the bank of Yellow River, sharing its border with Qin during the 8th century BC. Upon excavation, the jade bar and 2 strands of the bead were had in the hand of Lady Jiang, revealing a unique funeral rite of the Rui nobility. Ancient Chinese architecture began to utilize roof tiles around the 9th century BC. Large amounts of roof tiles excavated from the remains of various palace buildings in the Qin capital of Yongcheng show that the Qin adopted this tradition to protect their house and wooden eaves. Water pipes were found among the remains of palaces and mausoleums near Xi'an, demonstrating the use of running water and underground drainage system at the Qin's capital of Xianyang. Xianyang is very close to today's city of Xi'an. And if you fly into Xi'an, you fly into Xianyang Airport. The final session covers one of the most important archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, the Terracotta Army, and other objects excavated from the first emperor's mausoleum. The mausoleum, located 35 miles east of Xi'an, originally consists of above-ground structures surrounded by 2 sets of walls and an underground burial chamber. The mausoleum is enormous. The area within the wall, as you see here, is of 570 acres. And the mausoleum complex beyond the walls is nearly 14,000 acres. Beginning in 1974, archaeologists excavated 3 pits containing the Terracotta Army about 1 mile east of the mausoleum. Scholars believe that this underground army was modeled after military formations as described in the Art of War written by Sun Tzu in the 5th century BC. Pit 1 is the largest among the 3, containing about 6,000 figures in a singular military formation known as the thin front and the deep rear line. It includes a close formation with light armed infantry in front and deeper ranks on the back. The Terracotta Army includes infantry, commander, we call it general, horses, and a wooden chariot. The figures was placed 15 feet deep, originally covered with the timber, the straw mat, and the dirt. Today, after restoration, 1,100 figures are standing on the brick-paved floor as they were before. Pit 2 contains 1,300 figures in full military arrangement called dispersed formation to utilize smaller units of archer, infantry, and cavalry for very powerful attack. Pit 3 contains the military headquarters with only 68 terracotta figures and horses, but without any high-ranking officials. Most of the figures from this pit are missing their heads, and when and why this site was raided is a mystery. Here I will show you very quickly some images. You see general in the middle, and then charioteer and infantryman, cavalryman and horse, and archers. The last two images. This long sword from Pit 1 was as sharp as new when excavated. It is coated with a layer of chromium oxide, which protected the sword from corrosion. Reportedly, such techniques were not used in the West until the early 20th century. The stone armor pit was discovered in 1999 near the Emperor's Tomb Mound. The armor is symbolic, representing the Qin's real armor made of metal and leather. Each garment contains nearly 300 limestone tiles carved and polished and threaded together with a metal wire. To conclude, 3 years after the sudden death of the first emperor in 210 BC, the Qin dynasty collapsed, but left an enduring legacy of government, law, language, architecture, technology, and mausoleum with the Terracotta Army. All of that influenced Chinese nation and society for thousands of years. We believe that through comprehensive study of excavated cultural materials, we will deepen our understanding of Qin history and the first emperor's mausoleum and his legacy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, let's welcome my colleague, Dr. He-Mei Song.
Good evening, everyone. It's my great pleasure to join Li Jian in this lecture. And I will talk about the world around the Qin people. Since Li Jian has already given you such a wonderful, comprehensive introduction, I thought I will highlight only a few objects from this exhibition and some related objects to particularly the depiction of animals and natural subjects to briefly introduce the world around the Qin people. And particularly, I will focus on 2 points. One is how animal depiction of the Qin and the pre-Qin reflect Qin people's lifestyle and of hunting, herding, and agriculture. And the second, I will focus on briefly the yin-yang cosmology, or the yin-yang and 5 phases cosmology, and their concept of nature at this Qin time. During the late Zhou, before the Qin state transformed from a small kingdom into a superpower, Qin people lived in close proximity to the nomadic Rong and Di people, who inhabited in the today's Gansu, Ningxia, northern Shanxi, and Inner Mongolia. From these nomads, Qin people learned about horses, archery, hunting, and combat. Archaeological recoveries of artworks and artifacts provided evidence of their dynamic interaction and exchange among these cultures, the Qin people's exchange with them. And these works also revealed how the Qin developed its own distinctive style by integrating traditions of the surrounding states and other nomadic peoples. Okay. Here we have 2 bronze plaques. They are typically used for the belt as belt ornaments. And one is a tiger holding a mule, and the other one is a tiger attacking a bull. And you can see, actually, belt ornaments are the most distinctive artifacts associated with the nomadic peoples bordering the Qin region. And this, both of these depiction, very spirited and vibrant depiction of wild animals are closely associated with the cultures and arts of the Eurasian steppes, including the Ordos region of northern Shanxi and the Inner Mongolia. Here, this is a molded brick with the hunting scenes. You can see here, this brick is decorated with 2 bands of identical hunting scenes. Each band depicts a mounted hunter with bow and arrows chasing after 4 wild beasts running in a hilly landscape. Here we have roof tile ants. As you can see, these, again, these images captures the wild animals in their natural habitat and reflecting the Qin people's lifestyle and their interactions with their neighboring nomadic tribes.